Have you ever wondered why your child can read words, but they struggle to understand what they just read? It might not be the reading itself, it could be their vocabulary. So, we're going to dive into the real reason behind reading comprehension challenges and how we can turn that around. Hello, my name is Mrs. Hopkins Sullivan. I am the Hype Educator, and I am a fifth grade ELA teacher. I am really big on growing my children in reading, okay? I want to take them from here to there. And my kids who are already reading above grade level, well, I want to grow them even more. And that is what I aim to do every year. And so far, I have met those goals. And I want to share with you some of the reasons why people are just like, stunned. When I say stunned, like literally, this is mind blowing news that it's like my child is reading the words, but they're not really getting the understanding. Guys, most of the time, it starts with vocabulary. Okay, so here's the thing, what is really holding that child back? So, a lot of times, parents and teachers, they're noticing that kids are reading fluently, but they're missing out on comprehension. Okay, so here's how I'm going to break this down to you. Can you imagine your child reading a recipe, but they don't know what saute means or simmer? How would they ever cook that great dish? Okay, here's another analogy. I have another one. If I were to read a doctor's report, and they're starting to use all of their doctor jargon and lingo, words that I just don't understand, I really may not understand the diagnosis that they're telling me that I may have or a person in my family may have. I probably wouldn't get that report. They're going to have to break that down for me. They're going to have to tell me what these words actually mean. Because if I look at that, I may think that I may not wake up the next morning. Okay. That's what this is all about, the vocabulary. I can read this doctor report, I'm reading the words, but I don't really know what it means. So let me tell you how vocabulary impacts understanding. See, words are the building blocks to comprehension. If they don't know the word, they cannot understand the sentence. So if we were to relate this into like some real life experience, it's like watching a movie in a language you only kind of understand. You might catch the action, but you're missing the real story. You would not really be able to give them a play by play of the details. You can't tell them what led up to that action. So I'm going to tell you what we can do to help. Here are some fun ways that you can boost your students' vocabulary, or for parents, you can boost your child's vocabulary. All right, so some things that I like to do is play word games. I love playing word games, guys. They have all kind of cards that you can play to help boost your child's vocabulary, and it helps to introduce new words that your child may not have used before or very seldom used. So you want to make sure that these words are being used more so they truly understand the meaning of them. I also suggest encouraging daily reading of a variety of texts. Yes, our babies may only want to read those fun fictional texts, but also introduce some nonfiction. Bring out a magazine. I know we don't hardly use magazines anymore, everything's online, but bring those things out. Find anything, the back of a recipe, anything, and read it together and stop and make sure your child actually understands the meaning of those words. You may even want to engage in conversations that introduce new words. I am constantly trying to bring up a new word in my classroom that I'll just say and try to take notes, see if the students understand what it means, and even ask them, do you know what this means? At home with my own children, I try to bring up words, and sometimes they would ask me, and what does that mean? And I'm glad that they ask. If they don't, I will ask them, do you know what that means? Because you want to make sure you're introducing new words, even in conversation. It's not just for reading. We want to use those words in our daily conversations. Now, as a teacher, this is something that I like to do in my classroom. In most of my reading lessons, vocabulary is front and center. It is what transforms kids from being readers to thinkers. So you want to make reading fun by building those word banks. As we read stories, we have our vocabulary words that the curriculum gives me, and they're saying, hey, the kids need to know these words. But there are also sometimes a few other words within that story that I want to make sure that my students understand. We will read and we stop to check for understanding. And we're going through those vocab words. I introduce the vocabulary before we read the text. So we introduce it first. And then as we read, we want to see, oh, now we understand how they used this word in this text. I also make sure my students know when they hear a vocabulary word, they must stop and say, vocab. That's a big thing because I want to make sure they took notice that this is a vocabulary word and I need to make sure I understand the definition of it. I need to make sure I understand how it was even used in this text, right? To the point that my students just know, and when they answer questions for me, they're trying to use their vocabulary words to answer questions, even when it's not relatable to the text. See, that's big stuff. So now I have these students using these words in their regular conversations and in their dialogue with me as they are answering questions about their writing or just something totally different. And that's how you know it's working. Okay?
What else? What else?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
They detected that something was wrong, so they worked hard, so the people would feel happy and have gratitude.
Did you hear the vocabulary word?
Okay.
Did I do that? Wait. Do it again. Do it again. And when you hear the vocab word, say vocab. Say it slow. Go.
They detected the problem, so they took several months to plan, so the people will feel happy and have gratitude.
I love it. She said, I'm going to answer that with the vocab word.
Another thing that you would like to do, use flashcards. Do scavenger word hunts, okay? And you can have students search for words that they don't typically know and asking, what does this mean? Or they could start using their context clues, okay, to actually say, okay, now I think I know the meaning of this word based off the context clues in this text. You will be amazed at how your students will have an aha moment, the moment that they are actually understanding the words that they are reading. Okay, so it will take them from, again, just looking at the text and reading words to actually being able to be thinkers and being able to start analyzing the text with true understanding. Okay, so if you are ready to help your child become a master reader, let's make vocabulary the secret weapon in their reading toolbox. It's like our little secret, okay? Pull out that vocabulary, everyone. You want to encourage the students to build on their vocabulary. And I'm encouraging you to comment below with your favorite word building activity or vocabulary boosting tips. Because if we know that that is a key to truly understanding and comprehending text, if that is the key, we need to make sure we're not gatekeeping. Y'all know this. I say this in all my videos. We don't gatekeep over here. We don't gatekeep. So please share your favorite word building activity or vocabulary boosting tips. Now, I'm a fifth grade teacher. I taught third, fourth, and fifth, but I would love to hear, what are you doing at the early stages? What are you even doing in middle or in high school that you're doing to help build your students' vocabulary and you're seeing them show growth, okay? Because they truly understand what they are now reading, okay? Please do not forget to subscribe for more fun tips and tricks on improving reading comprehension and just knowing what takes place in the classroom as a teacher. Don't forget to subscribe. Be part of our community. We want to build here. We want to make sure that we are doing things to keep teaching fun, hype, all of that good stuff, okay? So listen, when kids know the words, they own the text. Let's help our little readers conquer comprehension one word at a time. Again, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Peace.